noticed how Detroit, Michigan has been omitted from the list of places that the National Guard is being sent to by the president? He's named Baltimore, D.C., L.A., Philly, Chicago. As many negative connotations as Detroit has had over the years, as much crime ridden as he's been saying our city is, but for us to be omitted from the list, noticeably, multiple times, every time they announce it, I'm waiting for our name to be added. It's not. And there's no scarier time for a person in an abusive relationship than when their abuser goes silent or pauses the cycle. Why? Because you know you're not out of the abusive relationship. So either you are A, in the discard phase where you don't even care whether I live or die, or more than likely the latter, which is B, you planning something extra sinister for that person, your victim. Because I'm like, what you got planned for us for 2026? So if y'all have heard anything, any rumblings about what's planned for Michigan in 2026, because we got a mayoral election happening where we got a 37-year-old black woman who is leading in the polls. We also got Garland Gilchrist, the lieutenant governor, who's a black man running for governor of the state of Michigan against independent Mike Duggan. I'm going to keep my thoughts on that to the side. But have y'all heard anything about what he has planned for Michigan? Because, honey, I need to know.
I love that quiet talk. I love this.
Exactly. Like she whispering, like somebody right there. But this is the point, that how quickly it can move. Angela, I wasn't disputing what you were saying. I was responsibly saying that there had been no reporting about it, but certainly things can happen so quickly that sometimes there isn't a warning. And to her point about Detroit, it's like, yeah, we could wake up tomorrow. We don't know. We could wake up tomorrow, and it won't just be Memphis, or it could be Memphis, Detroit, Atlanta. Like, who knows? So it's very frightening, and I think that is rooted in this discussion, how quickly these things can happen. And like, how do you address these challenges? When I first, because we read the transcript of her question, I'm like, is she wanted him to come to Detroit? But hearing the concern in her voice, and thank you, by the way, for taking the time to record that video and share it with us. I don't even know how we combat that.
The abuser analogy
I really
was
don't know.
actually helpful. I mean, I actually thought it was a really, really apt analogy. I will tell you, anytime Trump gets in hot water, I start getting more and more concerned, right? So the Epstein thing breaks earlier in the week, and then the next thing we know, in Chicago, they've unleashed already. Homeland Security folks were operating in the city the next morning after the breaking of the whole Epstein thing takes place. And then immediately, and I can't remember what the timing was, you all may correct me, this is one of the topics I wanted to bring up a little bit later, was the whole dropping bombs on a speedboat in international waters. Yeah. So I just think we're all, anything is on the block, period. But absolutely, when Trump is overwhelmed by criticism, just hold on. Just hold on is my belief system.
If this does happen in Tennessee, this would be the first time that he's doing this. Correct me if I'm wrong. I could be factually inaccurate. In a Republican-led state.
Yeah. But
to me, once that happens, it opens the door for a lot of other things.
But this is the thing that I think is important for us to contextualize. He is sending the National Guard into Memphis,
of course,
and there, that is a black mayor. The challenge we have is the very thing that we flagged on this show about the way that Muriel Bowser was almost welcoming to Donald Trump, because Memphis's mayor is cut from a similar cloth as Muriel Bowser. So he is cooperating in advance with this based on what I'm being told from an elected official source. So it is a little different because we know that the state also has some responsibility for the National Guard. We know that they're fine with it. And then you have someone who's a willing participant at the mayoral level in Memphis. The other thing that I was going to flag for the question, Lakeisha, again, thank you for sending it in, is there is an election in Detroit, but it ain't happened yet. So Mary Sheffield ain't the mayor yet. Who is the mayor is Mike Duggan, who is running against Garland for the gubernatorial race. Why does that matter? This man is a partner with several MAGA folks on several investments, including completely whitewashing Detroit. And so I still think it is different. There is a wink and nod relationship going on here, and you will see that some of the pressure is ramped down with folks who Donald Trump has a good relationship with. He is an egomaniacal human being. That is how this works. So I think that it's important. There is a system, but I think that no matter what, he wants to make a black mayor look bad. And I think no matter what, where he has a good relationship, where someone's willfully stroking his ego, he ain't showing up the same way.
But
Yeah.
it will
But this
be
is
an interesting challenge to see how a Republican governor, because mayors don't have say over the National Guard or its deployment. The
yeah.
confrontation is with the governors, because if you
Yes.
deploy National Guard in my state,
That's right.
it is an affront to me. You say you're coming into my state and we can't handle the issues of crime, or that city within my state can't. And so you're going to basically borrow the power of the governor, because the governor is the one who generally is responsible for calling up the National Guard. The last time prior to Trump deploying National Guard soldiers was to get, was to integrate Southern public
schools. Yeah.
schools. So it's not a practice that presidents generally utilize, which I know we all know, but I am interested. I actually I wish it wouldn't happen. But if it is going to happen, I'd be curious to know how a Republican governor, is going to stand
That's why that's a
when
big
his
deal.
state is in the
Yeah.
crosshairs. Is he going to stand with the people of his state and say, you're not going to degrade us this way? Or does he say, hey, we've got the welcome mat rolled out. Come on in.
But that's a
Yeah.
good
And
framing
that's
that
why I
people
think
should use.
the framing of the discussion when this initially started happening is, well, why not do this in Republican led states? And I had such an issue with that, because it's like, no, we're not trying to normalize this. And
Yeah.
again, I understand. I just want to be clear. This is something somebody said this to Angela, an elected official said this to Angela, that this is happening. We're not saying it's happening. Angela's saying this is what I'm being told that it's happening. But again, in Trump's America, we have like literally you wake up and it's like at any moment it could be a breaking news banner that he's deployed. But I do think this will be a game changer if he starts deploying these folks in Republican led states, because then that puts a whole lot of other cities like Jackson, Atlanta, and when you do the ranking
New
of
Orleans.
You should count on it.
Chicago,
He already
yes.
said he was sending it into New Orleans. That's why I'm like, this is asking
No,
answered and done.
again, we ain't
Yeah.
seen it yet.
I
And I'm not
understand what y'all are
beckoning
saying.
it.
I'm just
I'm not
telling
beckoning
you,
it.
he does not care. He does not have. There's no safety net or hedge of protection for a black mayor in whether the state is
Agreed.
red, blue, purple, green, whatever. If they are a black mayor who is not willing to bend the knee, they are in harm's way.
I don't disagree with you at
Black
all.
people.
Period.
Yeah, completely.
And guess what?
Yes.
This may be how people start learning about where these things are popping up, is on the hotline. And it's back to your earlier point, Angela, of like, we have to get in touch. We need to know our neighbor. We need to know our people, because it may get to the point where it's like, hey, y'all, it's a red alert.
No, it's
They
there.
here.
Yeah. Native Land Pod is a production of iHeartRadio in partnership with Reason Choice Media. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.